ask me why, I just went on board.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our party. Nice to see you. I came onto this project originally to read my poetry, and I'm going to do that. But before I do that, I want to tell you something about our set. There's a fabulous play going on here called Unexpected Joy, and Lisa Sheffs, who's the proprietor of this incredible ground floor theater, was kind enough to give us the space in the middle of her show. So we are sharing the space. We're on borrowed time. So I actually originally came onto this to read my poetry, but eventually I became the MC, or as I call it, the narrator. So I'm going to read a couple of my poems to you. It's bad, you know. You've heard that guy, right? That's R.L. Burnside. Bad, you know. This is called Buzzards. Buzzards on the line and in the yard. In the case of the first, trying to land to secure the carry-on, casually tossed over the fence so as to not stink up the yard. A beautiful aroma to the buzzard and annoyance to the yard owner. In the case of the second, the one in the yard, pecking at a dead squirrel, looking a bit out of place, but needing a meal just the same. It used to be you needed to go outside the city limits to spy a buzzard down and out of the sky. Now, they're just down and out. We'll take a bite, a bit, whatever catch as catch can. Buzzards on the wire, lifetimes on the line. Buzzards in the yard, you can have mine. And then because this is a mature audience, and I mean that in the kindest way, I'm going to read a poem that I think will ring a bell of familiarity for most of you. It's called Little Things. Little things elude me now. Names of characters in TV shows that I watch. Words that describe certain things. I tried to ask about one. Hey Siri, what is it called when you have a lot of words in a sentence? That's me trying to put my thoughts together. I found this on the web. Nuh-uh. The word I wanted was alliteration. And I don't know why I even wanted to know that at 1 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes it takes a while for a word to come. Short-term memory loss, mild cognitive impairment, MCI. Will it creep up on me? Will I be living in my own private universe where it's perfectly normal to not remember words? Maybe I just know too much about dementia. And maybe I just need to get my fears out. Maybe there's a word for that, but I'll be damned if I know what it is. So, we're looking for a full house. We kind of got it. And there's some pretty cool people at this party. I'm very excited to introduce them to you. I do know who they are. I understand that Chris Bailey is here with his guitar. Chris.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Good.
This is the first short show I've done in 2 years. So, pretty cool. Guitar, can I get the
Yeah.
You hear that? You're on? All right. There's a song called Moment of Grace. a hole in the fabric of time. A dolphin in the deep solves a problem in his sleep. Arrow rolls into the sublime. So say a prayer for the lonely polar bear stranded on a shrinking mountain of ice. Why should we care? Man, life isn't fair. We don't even want to think about it. Give me a break. We made an awful mistake. Leaving glimpse of space. A simple moment of grace. A single moment of grace. Who's gonna catch us when we fall? No way that they can save us all. Who's gonna lead us to the light? Or are we doomed to drown in endless night? All we need is a break. Forgiveness for a mistake. Just a glimpse of space. A simple moment of grace. Yeah, we all need a break. We made an awful mistake. Need a glimpse of space. A simple moment of grace. Single moment of grace. The nutshell synopsis of this next song is a fallen angel comes down to earth, falls down into the ground, and jumpstarts human evolution to the next phase. It's called Every Night Forevermore. Tumbling through the atmosphere into a cloud that disappears. soar through every night forevermore. Soon enough our souls will soar through every night forevermore. Soon enough our souls will soar through every night forevermore. For every night forevermore. You know, there's a certain subset of people in this country right now who are just really pissed off because they think they're being marginalized and replaced. So this song is kind of from their perspective. It's called Stolen Crown. Well, it's all downhill from here. We've been losing ground out here, and it's such a sad decline. From a bluster to a wine, guess we had our share of fun. Now the payback has begun. They say karma is a bitch. Leaves you broken in a ditch. Falling off the mountaintop, I flail my arms, but I can't stop. Running down the mountain's road, tearing off blood, flesh, and bone. It's a dirty rotten shame. So you find someone to blame, someone hurting worse than you. 'Cause that's just the way we do. And it's such a tragedy, but that's how it's gonna be. That we'll do all we can do to dry all of you down too. Falling off the mountaintop, we kick and scream, but it won't stop. What's been up now must come down. Usurpers wear our stolen crown. Falling off the mountaintop, we matinee is over.
wrote with Bevis many years ago, and it's a song that Chris played guitar. Well, this is really crazy, right? Chris played the guitar on that recording, and they had it was for me a magical moment. It was one of the first times anybody recorded something and felt that what I wrote was important, and I can't even say it because I'm so nervous, but it's just a little ditty that Bevis and I wrote that I'm going to try to sing, and it's...
Another nice round of applause for my main man, Chris Bevis. It's a lovely, cozy affair. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to do a song called Just Realized. And Kim Banks had shown me, Kim Dallesandro Banks had shown me these lyrics, and I was just really inspired by them. So I had an epiphany and got with Chris together, and we put some music together with it, made it a really great rock and roll song. So we'll do our best here, and feel free to clap along if you like. I don't want to antagonize you, so just realize I was just passing through. And I don't want to demoralize you, so just realize tomorrow we're through, yeah. And I don't want to anticipate you, just realize that it could only be you. It could only be you. Now just realize tomorrow I'm there to take my spirit. Tomorrow I'm there, and just realize you're one of a kind, but you ain't nothing special. You weren't that hard to find. Oh no. Now I don't want to love or defy you, so just realize tomorrow we're through, yeah. And I don't want to walk right by you, but just realize I could never, 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 never be true, no. And I don't want to anticipate you, just realize tomorrow, tomorrow, baby, it could only be you. Let's go. Put your hands together right here. Oh, yeah. Just realize baby, could ever be you. Just baby, it could only be you. God bless you, Tim. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Chris Bevis. Y'all have a beautiful evening.
This is our magical stage manager, Mary Nelson. She's fabulous. Thanks, guys. That was great. Good song, Kim. So I'm going to take this opportunity to read you all a pair of poems. You know, we had kind of have this idea of it's bad, you know? It's bad, you know? So this kind of fits in there. This first one is called Our Lady of the Roses. Our Dove Lady of the Roses is back. She comes every year around this time and sits on a nest that may remain even after she leaves. I don't know because it's hard to tell. It's just a few twigs on top of a post that supports an arbor-like structure over the steps outside the French doors. Roses are finally, after many years, winding and climbing up that post. And among these brambles, she broods. She's faithful. Through piercing rain, with lightning, with thunder, and under the burning heat of an Austin summer sun, I have watched her every year, hoping to see her fledges peeking over the edges of her nest. Last year there was 3. That was unexpected. The year before, 2 eggs, but no baby. She looks plumper this year, filled out, and maybe she's not the same dove. That's not for me to know. I only host the nest, and whoever may choose to sit in it. It's always a long wait throughout the spring and into the summer months. I check on her every morning. I can look down and see her from an upstairs window. She can't see me. I want to see the eggs or fledges that she's guarding so faithfully. She probably wants to see them more than I. Part 1. Here's part 2. Morning doves. Beautiful day, spied on my lady, the dove that's nested for weeks atop the arbor. Watched her build the nest as she, or perhaps a different lady, has done every year for as long as I've been watching. This time, oh! She hatched a couple of little fledges, and I actually saw them. This morning, I was certain I would see at least one of them take its maiden flight. That birdie was at least half, if not more, the size of Mama. Then, tragedy. I heard flutters, I saw feathers fly, I saw her and maybe her mate, and I ran upstairs to the window where I spy on her little family, and there was a squirrel, a tree rat, ravaging the nest. Little wings fluttering desperately, while Mama and Papa darted, attacked, retreated, and finally flew a little ways away to regroup. I went after the little coward with the longest pole I could find, and I tried to chase it away, but alas, the baby was on the ground. One little foot wavering. All the little life that was left, just a little life. Such is nature, leaving mourning doves. Well, there's another quite amazing writer in the house, and she's here all the way from Los Angeles, LA, and that would be the wonderful, inimitable Lisa Cherry.
Hello, I'm Lisa Cherry, and this is my first time in Austin. I'm loving it so far. I'm loving the people. I am having the best time. I wish I had more time. Okay, this one is it's a short story I wrote called Alvin. He put his hand under the running water, waiting for it to get hot. His aged body yearned for a hot bath. The crows squawked outside his window, and he thought, it's kind of late for them to be so vocal. What's out there? I'll go crazy if I don't look. Shut out the front room light so they won't notice if I look up the blinds. What do they want? He walked quietly to the window. He carefully separates the blinds so he can have a look. Nothing there. Wait, was that a shadow? Get down. Bathwater's still running. Gotta get to the water and turn it off and the lights. His heart was pounding. I need a gun, he thought. What do they know? His stomach was in knots along with his weary mind. I'm too old for this. Why can't they let me live in peace? Go to the bathroom, turn off the water. Go to my room and hide. The bath can wait. Crawling on all fours, he made his way to the bathroom. The linoleum brutalized his knees. Straining, he reaches for the light switch. He turns it off, then turns off the water. Damn it, was looking forward to that hot bath. I'm an old man, just let me be. Standing in the dark, he crouches down. If they get in, what will I do? His mind was racing. Maybe they'll go away. They have before. He whimpers. I'm sick of living like this. I'm not hurting or bothering anyone. Tears streamed down his face. His mouth was so tight his lips start to numb. I need a weapon. Crawl to the kitchen, get a knife, then hide in my room. Wait there for them to leave. Hours slowly passed as he crouched down in his closet holding his knife. Cold and tired, he's too scared to look out the window. The phone rings. He's startled. It goes to his answering machine. Who's calling now? Shit. How does she know? Alvin, are you in there? It's your sister. Pick up the phone. I know you're in there. Is she in on it with him? Pick up the phone. I want to talk to you. Have they gotten to her too? Okay, Alvin. Be that way. Call me back, okay? I can't trust her. Never did, actually. Two-faced liar, the bitch. Called to catch me off guard. So quiet out there. I wonder if the neighbors are suspicious. Fuck 'em, none of their business. Alvin decides to check the blinds again. He crawls back to the front room. The dirty hardwood floor creaks underneath him. He stands to the right of the window, careful not to touch or knock into the blinds. He moves the blinds, creating a peephole, then peers out into the yard. Looks like no one's out there. Who's out there? He cries. Confused, Alvin goes to the bathroom. He drains the cold water from the tub. Too late for a bath now, he thought. I'll just go to bed. Was anyone ever out there? Alvin starts to doubt his own senses, the games they play. The sunlight warms Alvin's face. His eyes opened. He is safe. He lies there a few minutes thinking about the night before. I need a plan for next time. It's best not to tell anyone. They'd think I was nuts. Gotta look in the yellow pages for a gun store. Last time I had a gun, I was an MP. Long time ago. It'll be like riding a bike. It'll come back to me. Maybe I'll even put up a fence. Got a lot to do. If I stay, that is. First, make some coffee and read the paper. Alvin gets out of bed, goes to the kitchen, makes coffee, and scrambles some eggs for breakfast. He looks out the door for the morning paper. I'll go out there after breakfast and have a look around, see if any footprints or broken twigs are out there. That way I'll know for sure if somebody was out there last night. There must have been. If there was, what do they want? If there wasn't, I'm out of my mind. Nothing in the paper about last night. Would they have said it if there was? I'll go check outside. He starts to feel uneasy, looks for clues. Signs, if anything was there. Could have been an animal, I suppose. No tracks. There's some broken twigs, but it's nothing. Maybe there was somebody there, maybe there wasn't. I still need a gun. And Cheryl Ann calling so late, what was that about? I trust her about as far as I can spit. Alvin looks through the Williams yellow pages to find a gun store. One just outside of town, Rusty's. He gets dressed and jumps into his 75 Ford Ranger. He loves that truck. He named him Sammy, after his friend in the military. Treats it like it's his best friend. Gives it whatever it needs to run like a top. Bought it brand new himself, his baby, his prized possession. It turns over first time, every time. He keeps it clean and well maintained. Let's go look at some guns, Sammy. Driving through town, Alvin looks around to see if anybody's watching him. Heads turn as he passes. Happens all the time with Sammy. Always got lots of admiring looks as I drove past people. Could it be something else now? Who's watching me? What do they want? Is the government pestering me, trying to drive me insane like the others? You never know about the government. Fuckers. Could be some alien or paranormal fanatic. They're just as persistent. I tell you, Sammy, back in the service days at the ranch, strange things happened. Strange people would come around. Government would send people to make sure that we kept quiet. There were things that happened, strange things, lights and sightings. It was all above my rank. And I certainly didn't want anything to do with it, but it was my job. At first, I kept quiet, period, just like they ordered. People came around for years. I ignored them. That's what I did. Eventually, I started asking guys in my unit what they saw. We saw people coming in and out. One time, though, I saw a disc-shaped ship or something on a day when the hangar was left open. It was usually closed. There were others, too. I can't unsee that. There were burning pits with chemicals. Some of the fellows started getting sick. No one was allowed to ask questions. How are you supposed to witness all that and not ask a question? If you did, you were let go, like me. There were others that tried to come and find out what was going on. We made sure they didn't see anything. We kept the trespassers out. More kept coming. News reporters would come out every now and again and see if they could find a scoop. We called it the ranch. Others called it Area 51. They expected us to keep quiet about everything, even though it was affecting our health and some guys died. I did ask what was going on. I had to. I was scared. Between the people trying to sneak onto the base and the toxic chemicals and the strange noises and lights, how could I keep quiet? I didn't trust them to look out for us. I got discharged. Reporters found out and asked to interview me. I was relieved not to be there anymore. Yeah, I told them stuff, but nothing they hadn't heard before. In fact, I told them a lot less. Since then, I feel like I'm being watched. Not sure by who, but the government has something to do with it. Alvin pulls into the dirt driveway of Rusty's gun shop. He looks around as he gets out and locks up. Howdy, partner, Alvin hears from behind the counter. Howdy, Alvin replies. What can I do you for? Looking for some protection. You came to the right place. You local? Local enough. Right outside town, Williams. Well, like I said, you came to the right place. Protection from what? Oh, you know, living alone and all. And people, you can't trust them. Different world out there now. Haven't seen you before. How long you been in Williams? Yeah, no, I haven't been in here before. First time. But you need protection, huh? It's more about being prepared, just in case. We all need to be prepared. Are you talking home protection or carry? I'm thinking both. I'm Alvin. Hey, Alvin, I'm Skip. What's your price range? Because I'm thinking maybe a shotgun and a 9mm. Sounds about right. Kind of on a budget. Been a while since I had a gun. Used to be in the service. What branch? Air Force, long time ago. I'll take that 9mm and the shotgun and some ammo, please. Sure thing, Alvin. Alvin feels uncomfortable talking with Skip. He just wants to get the guns and get out. Skip asks too many questions. Alvin fills out the necessary paperwork, pays for his guns, and heads out to his truck, wishing he was invisible. He felt seen, something that made him uncomfortable. Alvin puts the guns behind his seat and looks around to see if anyone's watching. Driving home, Alvin sees a strange light in the distance. What the hell is that? Okay, this is a poem I wrote called Ballad of an Outlaw. Stood face to face with the devil. I stared into his eyes. While staring me down, I felt his ire rise. Smiling, I put my hand out. I grabbed and shook his hand. I've done some things, darling, you wouldn't understand. Certainly daring, not for the weak of heart, but in order to survive, I embraced the part. I've lived through many experiences that most could not withstand. Lived to tell or not my story, depending on who's at hand. I've been through hell and back, then back and forth some more. I've tried and failed and tried and failed so much it felt like war. I found out all I needed of what and how and why. That I am who I am, my dear, and that I can't deny. I was born out of the darkness, a surprise even to me, to see the pain and suffering laid out before my eyes. While there, I learned my destiny, to swim against the tide. Not a life for everyone, not an easy ride. There are places left to travel, so many yet unknown. Places you can't come, my love. I've got to go alone. A life I have no choice about, whether I choose to accept or not. It has me where I must confess, my insides tied in knots. To leave behind a true love is so difficult to do. So walk away, run for your life. I'm not a woman that becomes a wife. I'm a loner at my core, nothing different I can do. I do know one thing, darling, I'm sure gonna miss you.
Well, I just realized we are all in for quite a treat. Some people know these folks as the owners of Antone's Records, but we know them as some of the coolest musicians in town, Yves Monsey and Mike Buck.
I tried really hard not to turn my back to the audience. That's the only theater thing I know. We're going to do a tune that Mike wrote here called Mr. Devil.
Pleasure to be here, honoring our pal Ken Bay. We'll have it,
So Mike and I have been in the studio recently, working on some new songs. We're gonna do a couple of those here. close our eyes and pretend to be in New Orleans for a minute. If we had some piano on this song, though, I'll tell you what, there's a piano right there. All right, see, thanks, y'all.
Got you on my mind.
came back.
He did.
So I think he wanted to do a song with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so
Well,
He gone.
we,
oh, he's gone.
well, that's what happens in life. You never know. So here's the deal is how can I follow that? But I know somebody who can. There's a guy who a bright light follows him around all the time. He's an amazing dude. Ricardo Acevedo in the house.
Hi. Hi. Hello. So I was just sitting at home with Buster and Luna, and then the phone rang. And it was Kim. And Kim said, "Hey, Ricardo, you want to come on down and read some lines?" And I said, "Sure." So we'll start with this. The me in you. The transient in me shuffles, his feet and the contents of his pockets, lots of paper containing nothing and no one. Somewhere in his gait, in those pockets of shaved wood, there's some change, some pennies, some quarters, some dollars made invisible, weightless, but warming security of possibilities. If they are left unspent. The gangster in me carries spray paint and chalk outlines in his memory. His blacko weighs him down, makes him slouch, keeps his ears to the ground for rumbling and stutters of bias and turf war. Having nothing to defend a territory of heart worth dying 4 or 5 times. In the slow motion of a knife slashing air, whistling penetration, loss of breath, bruise of bone, thud, warm and round as a hug from his mother. The clown in me drinks enough to have a red-nosed throb of disjointed marionette movement, strung out on the need for laughter. In the 3 rings of his mind, he is dancing garish, witty, verbal color around the sword swallower. He feigns a tickle, receives a glare. People with swords in their mouth have no sense of humor. Distracting the lion tamer at times to death. Catching a trapeze artist with a paper net. Whoops. The liar in me would tell you the truth, but he's afraid you'd take it wrong. After so many years of you expecting a story, the truth would bore a hole in the relationship, sinking the need to be amused, entertained, floated, buoyant, kept up to date on the latest partial bridge to the other side of your biting non-acceptance of you and I resembling each other. Just a thought. But the you in me, the one that pays the check, the one that offers me solace, when the truth seems empty and not worth a dime, will always keep a tally tattooed on the most tender part of his body that he will always pinch in times when memory is not enough for the transient, the gangster, the clown, and the liar to be worthy of bookkeeping numbers. They laid out on similar numbers, a jukebox of scratched 45s, double CDs, and MPEGs, or whatever, that are no longer playable. But they all will continue to dance, remembering the dance hall where we all gathered and where we all learned to be more than one thing, more than just a thought. I gotta get balanced. Yeah. All right, this is something I wrote in Flagstaff. We lived there for a while. My wife Susan and I, the kids were born there. Here we go. The men, raw-boned and lazy in their lean, valley up against the bar, mahogany or oak, peering back over years of days. It's hard to mark the wood for wood, but easy to mark men. The hard fingers tucked in pockets, mustaches creeping long over lips, narrow eyes draw a bead on nothing, on her. This girl, this woman, this waitress, a small thing, a cup of coffee, a low ball glass, a woman in a diner, the cook grumbling, out grease and steam, the train rumbling past these men who watch nothing, who drink up troubles and dust from behind their tongues. On the street, rain turns to snow. A couple passes, arms tucked together, heads bowed close. She wipes empty tables, straightens chairs. The men, sepia-toned and silent, stand long dead and stare at my mother. Well, we've got two more. We'll start here. This is called Sacred Pictures. They are kept in a box in the corner of the closet. Pictures of Jesus with his heart full of thorns. One for each year that I left home. Pictures stacked in order between white tissue, hand-dated on the backs in an artist's perfect scroll. One picture from each Christmas since I quit scooping snow from the sidewalks. Pictures to remind me of religion, thinking how I hung the first one, then two, displayed on the wall with eyes that followed me everywhere. I took the pictures down, placed them in a box, the beginning of a ritual of my own, a collection of my heritage, reminding me of winter's cold and summer's raw heat, more than I want to remember, reminding me of thorns. And I'll close tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with a piece about my grandfather. This is called Breathe Smoke. On rare nights, at rare times, I would be left on my grandfather's doorstep. Brown paper bag suitcase under my arm. I'd wander around back to the patches of green grass lawn, to the old oak tree stump with the axe firmly embedded, to the overgrown xylosma bushes and zinnias, the little golden butterflies swarming around, to my small painted Victorian, to the decaying shack, mi papa's shack. The shack leaned as if the spinning of the world had left it windswept and weather-beaten. Duck pens tucked under the raised raised floor made it seem as if the shack itself had given birth to the quacks and earthy aroma that filled the air. An obstacle course of feathers, duck pallets, and properly tended groupings of me papas necesidades lay between the shack and the main house. This, in my memory, was the universe. ¿Qué pasó, hominito? Ay, Gloria, would rumble from his years with a well-rolled barreled chest, while his stare smiled past me to his primer gray Chevy stepside and jumped it to life. Soon mi abuela would be weaving tales between the lines on the highway, filling the potholes of old desert roads smooth with our flight to the Chocolate Mountains. There where the breeze would animate the brush and tumbleweeds would chase jackrabbits into hiding, we entered a place where the sky would loosen our heads. In broken but precise English, my grandfather would describe the distant lightning storm as the heavens just taking pictures. We contorted ourselves to catch the reflection in our shuddering eyes. He talked to me about the green face of a mother in the change of life, how heaven's light illuminated her wounds as grace, and how humans paled before her divinity. Maria, of earthly possessions, of earthly passions, proud of her flowering and deflowering year after year. I would tell him of the fear that embraced me, almost to suffocation at home, of the violence, of the shouts, of the breaking of furniture. He would sigh, inhale, as if to suck out the poison that grew in the wound that was my heart, and tell me how men and women must always fight to win what little love there is in this world. But in the world of dreams, where flesh was a trick, they would move within and without the same space. And how in that world they would one day become one. Spirits, somnambulos, learning how to inhabit the waking world. At 6, in a world that seemed so very dry that it made me afraid to move, mi abuelo was a river that would gather me up in the surging arms with twigs, branches, sand, clay, creating a mulch to feed an ancient arbol in the season before sleep. Covering himself in dust so as to move with the wind, he would chant to me, his detached retina, visions while sleeping wrapped in his sarape, far away from pain. With his eyes like smoke, he would summon the air and the decay of light, and then exhale into my face, aliento de uno, mi pequeño, cerrado de ojos, breathe smoke, and it would take me years to learn how to exhale. Thank you.
So now we're going to free you for a brief intermission. If you like what you're hearing and like to take some home with you, we have some books, posters out in the lobby. Anything you want to say, Maestra?
Well, I'm gonna go outside and smoke.